Hello, and welcome to this quiet, peaceful night. Tonight, we're taking slow, gentle steps into the world of cats, a world that is as adorable as it is mysterious. These soft-footed companions have lived alongside humans for thousands of years, in our homes, in our stories, and in the silence of our nights. And yet, cats still remain difficult to fully understand. Sometimes they become a warm, comforting presence beside the bed, and sometimes they disappear like a shadow, slipping into the darkness without a sound. There is a strange calmness in their eyes, a calmness that feels older than time itself. Cats seem to live between two different worlds. On one side, a wild hunter, and on the other, a trusted companion. They can hear sounds we don't even notice. They can sense changes we barely feel, and they seem to understand things we never even realize. And the more closely you watch them, the more they begin to amaze you. In tonight's slow and soothing journey, you may begin to see cats not just as pets, but as a moving, living world of their own. A world filled with science, history, and the quiet mystery of behavior. But for now, you don't need to do anything at all. Just lie back, let your breathing slow down, and allow your eyes to grow heavy. Because now, we're about to drift into the calm and fascinating world of these remarkable creatures. Let's begin. And as we begin, allow the noise of the day to slowly fade. Cats have a strange gift. Even when they do nothing at all, they somehow change the atmosphere of a room. A cat curled into a quiet ball on the couch can make a home feel calmer, softer, almost protected. Their presence is gentle, but it is never ordinary. There is always the sense that something ancient is resting beneath the fur, something watchful and wise. For thousands of years, humans have shared space with cats. But unlike many other animals, cats were never fully shaped by human command. Their story did not begin with ropes, cages, or training. It began with hunger and opportunity. Long ago, when early communities started farming, they began storing grain. Those stored crops meant survival. They meant winter food, future meals, and safety for families. But grain also created a hidden problem. It attracted mice. And where mice gathered, predators followed. Wildcats discovered that human settlements were filled with movement in the shadows. Small animals slipped through storage huts, and the scent of prey lingered in the air. For a hungry hunter, this was a gift. The boldest cats approached at night, stepping lightly across dirt paths, slipping between clay walls, hunting quickly, then vanishing back into the dark. Humans noticed something important. Their food stores were safer, the mice were fewer, the damage was less. So instead of chasing the cats away, many people allowed them to remain nearby. It was not friendship at first, it was a quiet exchange. Cats gained easier hunting and safer shelter. Humans gained protection without effort. Over time, the cats that were less fearful survived better. They raised kittens closer to homes. Generation after generation, the most tolerant cats stayed near people, while the most nervous cats remained distant. It was not a single moment of domestication, it was a slow agreement, written silently through survival. Even today, you can still see that old independence in modern cats. A cat may love you deeply, but it rarely behaves as if it belongs to you. It chooses, it observes, it decides when to approach, when to retreat, and when to disappear into another room without explanation. That is part of the reason cats feel mysterious. They are companions, but they are also individuals.
They do not constantly seek approval. Their affection feels earned, like something offered rather than demanded. And beneath that calm behavior is a body built for precision. A cat is designed for twilight. It is most active during dawn and dusk, when shadows stretch and prey becomes harder to track. Its senses are tuned for faint movement, soft vibrations, and tiny sounds that human ears would never notice. Even when a cat sleeps, it is not fully gone. Its ears still listen, its muscles remain prepared, as if the wilderness is still close. And perhaps the most soothing part is this: when a cat feels safe, it creates one of the gentlest sounds in nature, a purr. And that quiet vibration holds more science than most people realize.
The purr is one of the softest sounds a home can hold. It is not sharp like barking, not distant like birdsong, and not restless like human speech. A purr is steady, warm, and rhythmic, like a small engine running peacefully beneath a blanket. When you place a hand on a cat that is purring, you can feel the vibration travel through fur, skin, and bone. It becomes more than a sound. It becomes a physical sensation, a quiet pulse that seems to slow the world down. For a long time, people believed cats only purred when they were happy. And often, that is true. Cats purr when they are relaxed, when they are being stroked, or when they are lying in a familiar place where they feel safe. But scientists and animal behavior experts have noticed something surprising. Cats also purr during moments of stress. Some cats purr at the veterinarian. Some purr while giving birth. Some even purr when they are injured. This suggests that purring is not only a sign of comfort, it may also be a tool, a built-in method of calming the nervous system, like a self-soothing rhythm created by the body itself. Kittens begin purring when they are only a few days old. It helps them communicate with their mother before their eyes are fully open. In the dark nest, a kitten's tiny purr is like a signal that says, "I am here." The mother often purrs back, creating a soft soundscape of reassurance. It becomes a hidden language of safety, shared without words. What makes purring even more fascinating is its frequency. A cat's purr usually vibrates between about 25 and 150 hertz. That range is not random. Some researchers have pointed out that vibrations in similar frequencies are often used in physical therapy to support healing in muscles and bones. It does not mean a cat is consciously healing itself, but it does suggest that evolution may have favored a vibration that provides biological advantages. In the wild, an injured animal that can heal faster has a better chance of survival. A cat that can reduce stress, conserve energy, and possibly support recovery through purring would be more likely to live long enough to hunt again. And even in the modern world, the purr remains powerful. Humans often describe it as comforting in a way that is difficult to explain. A cat purring beside you can feel like a living lullaby. It fills the silence without disturbing it. It creates a gentle background rhythm that makes the mind loosen its grip on worry. It is also important to remember that cats do not purr only for themselves. They sometimes purr to influence humans. A hungry cat may purr while rubbing against your legs, blending affection with request. It is subtle persuasion delivered through softness. And as the night grows quieter, that vibration becomes one of the calming sounds in nature. But cats are not only built to soothe, they are also built to see what we cannot, and their eyes reveal the next layer of their quiet mystery.
A cat moving through a dim hallway can feel almost unreal, like a shadow that learned how to breathe. In low light, their eyes seem to glow with quiet confidence, as if the darkness belongs to them. Many people assume cats can see perfectly in total darkness, but the truth is slightly more interesting. Cats are not built for complete blackness. They are built for twilight, for the soft in-between hours when the world is neither fully lit nor fully asleep. Cats are crepuscular animals, meaning they are naturally most active around dawn and dusk. This is when small prey animals often move and when the light is low enough to give a hunter an advantage. Over thousands of years, their eyes evolved to capture as much available light as possible. One reason they see so well in dim spaces is the structure of their pupils. A cat's pupils can narrow into thin vertical slits during the day, protecting the eye from bright sunlight. But at night, those pupils can open wide, allowing far more light to enter than a human eye could manage. Their eyes become like open doors, collecting every faint glow in the room. Cats also have a high number of rod cells in their retinas. Rod cells are specialized for detecting movement and light in darker conditions. Humans have rod cells too, but cats have more of them, giving them stronger vision in low light. This is why a cat can notice a tiny flicker of motion in a corner, while a human sees only stillness. Behind the retina, cats have a reflective layer called the tapetum lucidum. This layer acts like a mirror, bouncing light back through the retina a second time. It gives the eye another chance to capture the image. That is also what causes the familiar glow you may see when a cat's eyes catch a flashlight or car headlights at night. The light is being reflected back outward, like a small moon inside the skull. But even with all these adaptations, cats still need some light. In complete darkness, they rely on other senses, especially hearing and touch. A cat may navigate a pitch-black room by memory, by listening for tiny echoes, and by sensing air movement around objects. And this is where their whiskers become important. A cat's whiskers are not ordinary hairs. They are thick, deeply rooted sensory tools connected to nerves that can detect the slightest contact. When a cat walks near furniture or squeezes past a narrow gap, the whiskers pick up tiny shifts in airflow and distance. It's like having built-in antennas that map the world without needing to see it. You may notice a cat's whiskers angle forward when it is curious and pull back when it feels uncertain. They are part of the cat's emotional expression, but they are also part of its navigation system. In darkness, whiskers help a cat move with the same smooth confidence it shows in daylight. This combination of vision and touch creates a creature perfectly designed for quiet movement in dim spaces. A cat does not need to rush. It does not need to stumble. It simply reads the world in a different way. And as we continue, we'll explore another hidden language cats use every day. Not through sound, not through sight, but through scent.
The world a cat lives in is not the same world humans experience. We rely heavily on sight, on color, on shape, and on distance. But for a cat, the most important information is often invisible. It is carried in the air, soaked into fabric, pressed into door frames, and left behind like quiet handwriting. Cats communicate through scent in ways that feel almost like secret messages. These messages are made of chemical signals called pheromones. Pheromones are not simply smells. They are biological notes that carry meaning. To a cat, a scent can reveal identity, mood, and even the recent history of a space. When a cat rubs its cheek against the corner of a table, it may look like affection or casual stretching, but along the cheeks, chin, and lips are scent glands that release friendly pheromones. By rubbing, the cat is marking the object, placing its signature there. It is quietly saying, "This is familiar, this is safe." Cats do the same to people.
When a cat presses its head against your leg or bumps your hand with its face, it is not only asking for attention, it is also mixing its scent with yours, adding you to its map of comfort. In the cat's mind, scent creates a boundary of belonging. It helps turn a house into a territory that feels known. This is also why cats often react strongly to changes in their environment. A new bag, a new visitor, or even furniture moved slightly can disturb the scent map they depend on. Humans may think the room looks the same, but to a cat, the room smells different, and that difference matters. They may sniff carefully, circle slowly, or rub their face repeatedly on objects to restore the familiar chemical comfort. Cats also use scent for social information. When a cat sniffs another cat, it is reading a story. It is gathering clues about health, stress, and identity. This behavior can look awkward to humans, but it is normal cat communication. In a way, it is like reading a name tag and a mood report at the same time. One of the most fascinating scent behaviors is the strange expression cats sometimes make after sniffing something new. They open their mouth slightly, lips curling, eyes half-focused, as if frozen in a confused smile. This is called the feline response. It is not disgust, it is analysis. When a cat makes that face, it is pulling scent molecules into a special sensory organ called the vomeronasal organ, located in the roof of the mouth. This organ is designed to detect pheromones more deeply, helping the cat interpret social and territorial information. It is like switching from casual smelling to detailed decoding. In the wild, this ability helps cats understand who has passed through an area and whether the environment is safe. In the home, it explains why your cat may sniff a shoe, pause with that strange open mouth look, and then walk away as if it has learned something important. To humans, the air feels empty. To cats, it is full of messages. And the more you think about it, the more calming it becomes. Cats are constantly reading the world, quietly collecting information, building comfort out of invisible signals. But scent is not their only hidden tool. Their bodies are built for movement in ways that seem almost impossible. And that brings us to the strange physics of how cats fall and survive.
A cat falling from a height can look like a small miracle. There is a sudden drop, a twist in the air, and then a landing that seems too smooth to be real. Many people have heard the phrase that cats always land on their feet. It sounds like a myth, like something people say because they want to believe cats are magical. But there is real biology behind the way cats recover in midair. Cats have what is often called a righting reflex. This is an automatic ability that helps them orient their bodies during a fall. It begins with the inner ear, which contains a balance system that detects rotation and movement. The moment a cat senses it is falling, the brain receives a rapid message: the body is not stable. Then the cat reacts. The head turns first, seeking the correct orientation. Once the head is aligned, the spine follows. A cat's spine is unusually flexible, allowing the front half and back half of the body to rotate separately. This is one of the key reasons cats can twist so quickly. Their skeleton is built for sudden turns, for fast corrections, and for controlled movement. As the cat rotates, it pulls in its front legs, changes its body shape, and adjusts momentum. Then it spreads the legs outward, creating more surface area. This slows the fall slightly, almost like a small parachute effect. Finally, the cat prepares for impact, bending the legs to absorb force like springs. But it is important to remember something calm and realistic. Cats do not always land safely. A fall can still cause injury, especially from extreme heights or unusual angles. A cat may land incorrectly or hit an object on the way down. The righting reflex is powerful, but it is not a guarantee. It is simply an evolutionary advantage that increases survival in many situations. Interestingly, some studies and veterinary observations suggest that cats falling from moderate heights can sometimes be injured more severely than cats falling from higher floors. This may sound strange, but it may be because cats need enough time during the fall to fully rotate and spread their bodies. In shorter falls, they may not have time to complete the adjustment. Still, the overall design of a cat's body is remarkable. Their muscles are built for sudden bursts rather than long endurance. Their legs are strong, their joints are flexible, and their movements are controlled with precision. Even their paws help absorb impact, and their ability to balance is supported by the tail, which acts like a stabilizing tool. This is why watching a cat play can feel hypnotic. A cat leaps, twists, and lands as if gravity is simply another element it understands. Even when chasing a toy, the cat is practicing ancient survival movements: watch, stalk, pounce, twist, grab. It is not random play, it is instinct rehearsing. And when you see a cat jump onto a narrow shelf or walk along the back of a couch without hesitation, you are seeing the same body design at work. Cats are built for climbing, escaping, and landing safely in difficult environments. Their elegance is not decoration, it is engineering. And as the night continues, you may notice something else. Cats are not only designed to survive falls, they are designed to move through the world almost silently. And that quiet, rolling walk has its own story.
When a cat walks across a room, it often feels as if the sound in the house becomes softer. Their footsteps are so quiet that you may not notice them until they are suddenly beside you. This silence is not an accident. It is the result of a body built for stealth, shaped by generations of hunting small prey that could vanish at the slightest noise. A cat's walking style is smooth and controlled, sometimes described as a rolling gait. The spine and shoulders move together in a flowing rhythm, giving the impression that the body is gliding rather than stepping. Unlike many animals that stomp or shift their weight abruptly, cats distribute their weight carefully, keeping their movements balanced and light. One reason for this quiet motion is the way cats place their paws. Cats often use a pattern called direct registering, meaning the back paw tends to land very close to where the front paw stepped. This reduces noise and prevents the body from wobbling. It also allows the cat to move efficiently along narrow paths such as fences, ledges, or tree branches. Their paws are also designed for softness. The paw pads act like natural cushions, absorbing impact. Even when a cat jumps down from a chair, the landing can be almost silent. Those pads are thick enough to protect the bones, yet sensitive enough to detect texture and vibration. Cats also have retractable claws, which is another key feature for quiet travel. When a cat is simply walking, the claws are usually pulled back, hidden inside the paw. This prevents clicking sounds on hard surfaces and keeps the claws sharp for moments when they are needed. When the cat climbs, hunts, or defends itself, the claws extend instantly like small curved blades. Even the structure of the cat's shoulders contributes to its stealth. A cat's collarbone is not firmly attached like it is in many other animals. Instead, it floats, connected by muscle. This gives the shoulders more freedom to move and helps the cat slip through narrow spaces. It is one reason cats can slip through openings that seem too small. If the head fits, the body often follows.
This flexible skeleton is also why cats can twist and pivot so quickly. Their bodies are built for sudden direction changes, allowing them to chase prey or escape danger in an instant. If you have ever watched a cat playing, you may have seen it shift direction mid-run as if it has no momentum at all. That smooth control is the same skill that makes their everyday walking look effortless. At night, this quiet movement becomes even more noticeable. A cat may roam through the house while everyone sleeps, exploring corners, checking windows, listening to distant sounds. It may seem like wandering, but in the cat's mind, it is patrol. Cats naturally monitor their territory, even when they live indoors. The house is not just a shelter, it is an environment they constantly read and remember. And perhaps that is why cats feel so mysterious. They live close to humans, yet they remain connected to an older instinct. Their movements are silent because silence has always been survival. But cats do not communicate only through stealth. They also communicate with something surprisingly gentle, a slow blink. And that quiet gesture may be one of the sweetest forms of trust a cat can offer.
If you have ever looked into a cat's eyes and watched the eyelids slowly close, you may have felt something peaceful in that moment. It is not the same as a human smile, and it is not exactly sleepiness either. It is a soft signal, a calm gesture that feels almost like a whisper. Many cat lovers call it a cat kiss, but behind that sweetness is real animal behavior. In the language of cats, staring can be a challenge. A long, unbroken stare between cats may signal tension or dominance. In the wild, eye contact can mean conflict. So when a cat feels relaxed, it often avoids hard staring. Instead, it softens the eyes. The lids lower. The gaze becomes gentle. And sometimes the cat slowly closes its eyes, then opens them again. This slow blink is a sign of safety. It is a way of saying, "I am not a threat." And just as importantly, it suggests, "I trust you not to be a threat either." It is one of the simplest forms of peaceful communication a cat can offer, and it is surprisingly powerful because it requires vulnerability. Closing the eyes, even briefly, means giving up visual control of the environment. A cat will not do that unless it feels secure. Many people discover that slow blinking back can change the cat's behavior. If you soften your face, close your eyes gently for a moment, and then open them slowly, some cats will respond by blinking again. Others may walk closer, rub against you, or settle down nearby. It becomes a quiet exchange, a conversation made entirely of timing. This kind of communication is especially interesting because cats rarely use it with animals they do not trust. It is often reserved for familiar humans, friendly cats, or safe environments. It is not a trick, it is not trained, it is natural social language. And it may be one reason cats feel calming to live with. Their affection is subtle. It does not arrive loudly, it arrives quietly, like the soft closing of eyelids. The slow blink is also connected to another behavior many cats display, the gentle head rub. When a cat presses its cheek against your hand or nudges your leg, it is doing more than showing affection. Along the cheeks and around the mouth are scent glands that release pheromones. These pheromones are calming chemical signals. When the cat rubs against you, it is leaving that scent behind, marking you as familiar territory. To humans, it feels like a sweet greeting. To the cat, it is reassurance. It is a way of saying, "You belong in my safe circle." In homes with multiple cats, this behavior can become part of social harmony.
Cats may rub against furniture, doorways, and even each other, blending scents so the environment feels shared rather than divided. It reduces tension and creates stability. So when a cat slow blinks at you and then rubs its face against your hand, it is not just being cute, it is building comfort. It is creating peace. And as the night continues, we'll explore another way cats quietly understand the world, not through eyes, not through scent, but through sound, because a cat's hearing is so powerful that silence is never truly silent for them.
To a human, a quiet house at night can feel completely still. The air seems empty, the rooms seem silent, and the world feels paused. But for a cat, the same house is filled with sound. Not loud sound, but tiny sound, soft sound. Sounds so faint that human ears would never even notice they exist. Cats have extremely sensitive hearing, especially when it comes to high frequencies. While humans are most tuned to the range of speech, cats are tuned to the range of prey. Small animals like mice and birds often make quick, high-pitched noises. A squeak in dry grass, a faint scratch behind a wall, a tiny movement under furniture. These are the sounds that matter to a hunter. Over time, the cat's ears evolved to detect them. A cat can hear much higher pitches than humans can, and in many cases, higher than dogs as well. This is why a cat might suddenly freeze and stare toward a corner of the room when you hear absolutely nothing. It is not always paranormal, it is often biology. Their ears are also built like radar. Cats have more than 24 muscles controlling each ear, allowing them to rotate and tilt independently. One ear may point toward your voice, while the other ear tracks a different sound across the room. They can pinpoint the direction of a sound quickly and accurately, which is essential for hunting in low light. When a cat's ears flick and swivel, it is not random movement, it is active listening. Even a half-asleep cat may still be processing the environment. You might see a cat resting with eyes closed, yet the ears continue to twitch at distant sounds. This constant monitoring is part of the cat's survival wiring. In the wild, sleep must be light enough to detect danger. Indoors, the instinct remains. This heightened hearing also explains why cats can become stressed by certain noises that humans barely notice. A loud vacuum, a sharp door slam, or even the high-frequency sound of some electronic devices can be uncomfortable. Cats may react by hiding, running, or flattening their ears because their nervous system processes sound intensely. But there's another interesting side to this. Cats do not just hear more, they also communicate with sound in a way that is strangely personal. Adult cats rarely meow at each other. Between cats, communication is mostly done through body language, scent, and subtle vocalizations like growls or chirps. But with humans, many cats develop a special voice. They learn what works. Some cats meow softly, some sound demanding, some almost like a question. Over time, cats adjust their vocal patterns based on the reactions they receive. A certain meow may bring food, another may open a door, another may bring attention. In a way, the meow becomes a human-focused invention. It is the cat learning how to speak in a language humans respond to. And perhaps that is why living with cats feels like a relationship rather than ownership. Cats are constantly observing what humans do, learning routines, testing signals, and adjusting behavior. They are quiet scientists of the household, experimenting gently with cause and effect. In the dark, when the house seems silent, your cat may still be hearing a world of tiny signals: a distant car, a bird outside,
a rustle in the walls. The night is never empty to them. And next, we'll explore another strange tool cats use to understand their environment. A tool that is not in the ears, not in the eyes, but hidden inside the mouth. Because a cat's tongue is one of nature's most unusual grooming instruments.
If a cat has ever licked your hand, you know the feeling is surprising. It is not smooth like a dog's tongue. It feels rough, almost like sandpaper, as if the cat is brushing you rather than licking you. That texture is not accidental. A cat's tongue is covered in tiny backward-facing spines called papillae, and each one is made of keratin, the same tough material found in claws and human fingernails. These papillae turn the tongue into a natural grooming tool. When a cat cleans itself, the tongue acts like a comb, catching loose fur and pulling it away from the coat. It also helps remove dirt, small debris, and parasites that may cling to the skin. A smooth tongue would glide over the surface, but a cat's tongue reaches deeper, separating fur and cleaning down to the base. Grooming is not only about appearance, it is a form of maintenance. Cats spread natural oils across their coat, helping keep fur healthy and water-resistant. Grooming also helps regulate temperature. When saliva spreads across the fur, it can cool the body as it evaporates, especially in warm environments. This is one reason cats may groom more frequently during hotter weather. Grooming is also emotional. Cats often clean themselves when they are relaxed and sometimes when they are stressed. It can be a self-soothing behavior, like a calming ritual. You may notice a cat grooming after a sudden noise or after an unfamiliar visitor enters the room. The act of cleaning can help the cat regain a sense of control. But there's a downside to this beautiful design. Because the tongue is so effective at catching fur, cats swallow a lot of it. Most of the swallowed fur passes through the digestive system without issue, but sometimes fur can collect in the stomach and form a hairball. This is why cats occasionally cough or gag, trying to bring the fur back up. It may look dramatic, but it is a natural consequence of an animal built to groom itself constantly. Some cats are more prone to hairballs than others, especially long-haired breeds. Regular brushing can help reduce the amount of fur swallowed, but the instinct to groom is deeply wired. Even a well-fed indoor cat will spend a large portion of its waking life cleaning itself. It is part of being a cat. The tongue is also important for more than grooming. It is used for feeding, tearing small pieces of meat, and scraping food from bones. Cats are obligate carnivores, meaning their bodies are designed to thrive on animal-based nutrition. Their tongue and teeth reflect that history. Even when eating soft canned food, the body is still built like a hunter. And if you watch a cat grooming closely, you may notice how precise the movements are. The cat uses the tongue like a tool, cleaning certain areas carefully, pausing, then continuing. It is not random, it is systematic. Each stroke is purposeful, like a ritual repeated over thousands of years. There is something calming about watching it. A cat grooming itself is like watching nature perform a quiet routine of order and balance. It reminds you that even in stillness, the cat is always working, always maintaining, always preparing. And next, we will explore another hidden feature that makes cats feel almost supernatural. Because cats are not only built to groom, they are built to taste the world differently. In fact, there is one flavor they can barely experience at all: sweetness. Humans often experience food as comfort.
Sweet flavors can feel joyful, nostalgic, even soothing. A spoonful of sugar, a piece of cake, a warm cookie. For many people, sweetness is tied to pleasure and reward. But for cats, sweetness is almost meaningless. They can smell it, they can investigate it, but they do not truly taste it the way humans do. This is because cats carry a small genetic change that affects a key taste receptor. In humans and many other animals, the tongue has receptors designed to detect sweet compounds. Those receptors send a signal to the brain that says, "This is sweet." But in cats, one of the genes involved in that sweet receptor does not function the same way. The signal is weakened or missing, which means sweetness does not register as a strong flavor. In other words, cats are biologically uninterested in sugar. This fits perfectly with their identity as obligate carnivores. Cats evolved to survive on meat. In the wild, they did not rely on fruit, nectar, or sugary plants for energy. Their diet was built around small animals rich in protein and fat. So, over time, their senses became specialized for what mattered most, the taste and smell cues that help identify meat. This is why many cats ignore sweet treats completely. A cat might sniff a cupcake, then walk away as if it is pointless. But the scent of tuna, roasted chicken, or warm fish can draw a cat from across the house. Their brain is wired to respond to animal-based aromas, not dessert. Even their digestive system reflects this specialization. Cats require certain nutrients, such as taurine, that are found naturally in animal tissue. Their bodies are designed for a meat-focused life, and their senses follow that same pattern. And yet, cats can still develop strange food preferences. Some cats love crunchy cereal, some chew bread, some even lick butter. This is not because they enjoy sweetness, but because they may be attracted to texture, fat, or certain smells. Cats often explore food with their nose first, and their sense of smell is far more powerful than their sense of taste. To a cat, smell is the true gateway to flavor. Their nose reads the world like a story, and their brain makes decisions based on scent in ways humans rarely understand. That is why a cat may reject a meal that looks perfect to you. If the smell is slightly off, the cat may treat it as suspicious. This sensitivity is also why cats can recognize familiar people and places through scent alone. Even in low light, even from a distance, the nose can confirm identity. The world becomes layered with invisible information. There is another strange behavior connected to this scent-based life. Sometimes a cat will sniff something new, then pause with its mouth slightly open, lips curled, as if frozen in a quiet grimace. This is not disgust, it is a sensory technique. The cat is pulling chemical information into a special organ in the roof of the mouth, allowing deeper analysis of pheromones and scent signals. It is as if the cat is tasting the air itself. And in that moment, the cat is not simply smelling, it is decoding. As we continue, we'll move deeper into the cat's hidden biology, where even their skeleton has secrets. Because a cat is not built like most animals. Its body is designed to slip, twist, and vanish, almost like liquid.
There is a reason people joke that cats are made of liquid. A cat can squeeze into spaces that seem far too small, curling into boxes, sliding behind furniture, and slipping through half-open doors with unbelievable ease. It can look like magic, but the truth is hidden in their skeleton.
A cat's body is built for flexibility. Their spine is long, mobile, and supported by strong muscles that allow sudden bends and twists. This flexibility helps cats leap, climb, and land with precision, but it also allows them to compress their bodies in ways that feel almost impossible to humans. One of the most important features is the cat's collarbone. In many animals, the collarbone is firmly attached to the rest of the skeleton, creating a rigid frame in the chest. In cats, the collarbone is not locked in place, it floats, connected by muscle rather than rigid bone attachment. This gives the shoulders a wider range of movement and allows the front legs to step and rotate freely. Because of this design, a cat's shoulders can fold inward, letting the body narrow. If the cat's head can fit through an opening, the rest of the body often can as well. The shoulders can slide through like a flexible machine, and the ribs compress slightly, helping the cat move through spaces that seem too tight. This ability mattered greatly in the wild. Cats needed to crawl into dens, squeeze through rocky gaps, and escape predators through narrow passages. A body that could fold and slip through tight spaces would survive more often. Indoors, that same survival feature becomes a daily surprise. The cat vanishes behind a cabinet. It appears from under a bed. It finds hiding places you never expected. Their shoulder blades also move differently than ours. In humans, the shoulder structure is more fixed. In cats, the shoulder blades slide smoothly along the rib cage, contributing to that fluid, gliding motion. This is one reason cats can move with such silent elegance. Their whole front body works like a system designed for stealth. This flexibility also supports their climbing ability. Cats can pull themselves upward with strong front legs and rotate their bodies quickly. They can cling to surfaces, balance on narrow edges, and change direction in mid-air. Their movements are controlled, not clumsy. Even when they fall, they often recover, twisting with that flexible spine to land more safely. But flexibility is not only about escaping danger, it is also about hunting. A cat stalking prey needs to move low, quiet, and smooth. A flexible spine helps create that crouching, flowing posture. When the cat pounces, the spine extends like a spring, releasing stored energy in a burst. That leap is powered not just by the legs, but by the entire back. And there is something calming about knowing this. A cat's graceful movements are not random. They are the result of ancient design. Every stretch, every twist, every quiet slip into a small space is a reflection of a predator built for survival. Yet, despite this wild engineering, cats often choose comfort. They curl into soft places, fold their bodies into circles, and sleep in positions that look impossibly relaxed. Their flexibility becomes a symbol of ease. And perhaps that is why cats are so soothing to watch. They move like water. They rest like warmth. They seem to belong everywhere. Next, we will explore another part of their mysterious identity. Because even though cats are hunters, they also carry a deep connection to humans. A connection so strong that entire civilizations once treated them as sacred. Long before cats became internet icons or household companions, they held a place of honor in one of the most powerful civilizations in history. In ancient Egypt, cats were not simply useful animals, they were symbols. They were protected. They were admired with a kind of respect that went beyond practicality. At first, the relationship likely began the same way it did elsewhere. Grain storage attracted rodents, and cats reduced the problem. A cat guarding food supplies would have been valuable in a world where famine was always a possibility. But in Egypt, that usefulness slowly transformed into something deeper. Cats became connected to home life, safety, and spiritual meaning. They were linked to a goddess named Bastet, often represented with the head of a cat or lioness. Bastet was associated with protection, fertility, and the warmth of the household. Over time, the cat became a living reflection of those ideas. It was not only a hunter, it was a guardian of the home. This reverence was not just a quiet belief, it shaped real behavior and real law. Historical records suggest that harming a cat could bring severe punishment. Cats were defended not only by emotion, but by the rules of society itself. This is rare in human history. Few animals have been given such strong legal and cultural protection. Archaeologists have found cat-shaped amulets, paintings, and carvings showing cats sitting near humans, sometimes under chairs, sometimes beside tables, as if they were already part of daily family life. There are also cat burials, suggesting that some families mourned cats with rituals similar to those used for people. This was not casual affection, it was grief, respect, and devotion. It is possible that cats in Egypt lived in a space between sacred and practical. They hunted pests, but they also carried a spiritual presence. They were admired for their quiet strength, their sharp senses, and their graceful movements. A cat's calm gaze may have felt like something supernatural to ancient eyes, especially in a world where darkness was deeper and the wilderness was closer. And yet, there is something strangely familiar about it. Even now, modern humans often treat cats as more than animals. People speak to them as if they understand. They give them names, personalities, and roles in the household. Some cats are seen as guardians, some are seen as healers, some are simply seen as mysterious companions who seem to exist half in this world and half somewhere else. Perhaps ancient Egypt understood something that still feels true. Cats are not easily controlled, and that independence creates awe. A dog may be loyal in obvious ways, but a cat's affection feels rare and chosen. When a cat curls beside you, it can feel like a gift rather than a habit. Even the way cats move can feel ceremonial. Their silence, their patience, their ability to sit perfectly still and watch the world. It is easy to see why ancient people connected them to divinity. They look like creatures that know secrets. But cats are not only symbols, they are biological masterpieces, filled with tiny features designed for survival. And as we move forward, we return to that science again. Because there is one simple behavior cats use every day that reveals just how intelligent their social instincts are. It is the sound they make for humans, a sound they rarely use with each other, the meow, and the story behind it is quietly fascinating. A cat's meow can feel like a personal message. Some are short and bright, like a greeting. Some are long and dramatic, like a complaint. Some sound like a question, and others sound like a demand. Many cat owners swear they can tell exactly what their cat means just by listening, and in a way, they might be right. What makes the meow so interesting is that adult cats do not rely on it very much when communicating with other cats. Kittens meow frequently to call their mother, especially when they are cold, hungry, or lost. But as cats grow older, their main communication with other cats becomes quieter and more complex. They use posture, tail movement, ear position, facial expression, and scent. They may hiss, growl, chirp, or yowl in certain situations, but the familiar everyday meow is far more common in human-cat relationships than in cat-cat relationships. This suggests something remarkable. Many cats have learned to meow for humans. It's almost as if they discovered that humans respond to sound more than subtle body language. A cat cannot leave a scent message that says, "Open the door," and expect a human to understand, but a meow, repeated at the right moment, often works. Over time, cats may adjust their vocal behavior based on results. A certain meow may bring food, another may bring attention, another may cause a human to follow them into a room. Cats are observant animals, and they learn patterns quickly. They notice cause and effect, especially when it involves their comfort. Some researchers have even suggested that cats develop individual meows shaped by their environment. Cats living in different homes may sound different, not only because of genetics, but because of learned behavior. A cat that lives with a very talkative owner may become more vocal. A cat that learns quiet signals are ignored may increase volume and frequency. It becomes a kind of negotiation shaped by daily routine. There is also something emotional in the way cats use their voice. Cats do not simply meow to request things. Sometimes they meow to locate you. Sometimes they meow when they feel lonely. Sometimes they meow when they are excited, like when you return home. In those moments, the sound is less about survival and more about connection. This is part of what makes cats feel like companions rather than background animals. They are not silent decorations. They are living minds that interact, adapt, and communicate. Their intelligence is subtle. They do not always perform tricks. They do not always show loyalty in obvious ways, but they learn your habits, remember your routines, and shape your behavior around you. And while cats may seem independent, their relationship with humans is often deeply social. They may follow you from room to room. They may sit nearby while you work. They may sleep close enough to feel safe. They may even bring you gifts like toys or sometimes prey, as if sharing their hunting success. The meow becomes part of that bond, a bridge between two species that do not naturally speak the same language. And perhaps that is what makes it so soothing. A cat's voice is small, soft, and personal. It feels like a tiny thread of communication in the quiet night. But cats do not communicate only with sound. They also communicate with movement, with silence, with the language of the body. And next, we will explore one of their fascinating physical tools, hidden in plain sight. Because a cat's whiskers are not decoration. They are a sensory system, tuned like delicate instruments, reading the air around them. A cat's whiskers may look like simple hairs, but they are something far more complex. They are sensory instruments, built to collect information the way fingertips collect texture. In the quiet world of cats, whiskers are a kind of invisible sight, allowing them to understand space even when light is low. Whiskers are also called vibrissae, and they are thicker and stiffer than ordinary fur. Each whisker is rooted deep in the skin, surrounded by sensitive nerves and blood vessels. This deep connection means a whisker is not just sitting on the surface. It is plugged into the nervous system like a wire. When a whisker touches an object or detects a shift in airflow, the brain receives that signal instantly. Cats have whiskers not only on their cheeks, but also above their eyes, on their chin, and even on the backs of their front legs. Each set plays a role in mapping the environment. The cheek whiskers help measure distance and detect nearby objects. The whiskers above the eyes act like protective sensors, warning the cat if something is close to the face. The leg whiskers help during climbing and hunting, detecting movement near the paws. One of the most fascinating roles of whiskers is how cats help judge tight spaces. You may have seen a cat pause at a narrow opening, such as between furniture or through a small gap in a door. The cat may lean forward slightly, whiskers extended as if measuring the space. That is exactly what is happening. The whiskers provide feedback about whether the cat's body can fit through safely.
It's like having built-in measuring tools. Whiskers also detect tiny air currents. When a cat moves through darkness, the whiskers sense changes in airflow caused by objects nearby, a table leg, a wall, a chair edge. Even if the cat cannot see clearly, the whiskers help create a mental map of the space. This is one reason cats can move so confidently at night. They are not guessing, they are sensing. Whiskers are also linked to emotion. When a cat is curious or alert, the whiskers often angle forward. When the cat feels threatened or uncertain, the whiskers pull back toward the face. This change is subtle, but it is part of the cat's body language. If you learn to notice it, you can often tell how a cat feels before it makes any sound. Because whiskers are so sensitive, they can also become overwhelmed. Some cats experience discomfort when their whiskers constantly press against the sides of a narrow food bowl. This is sometimes called whisker fatigue. It may explain why some cats prefer wide, shallow bowls, or why they sometimes pull food out with their paws before eating. In a quiet way, whiskers show how carefully cats are designed. They are hunters, but they are also delicate creatures. They are built for precision. They do not crash into the world, they read it. And perhaps that is why cats seem so graceful. Their movements are not only muscle and balance, they are guided by information flowing through these sensitive tools. As the night deepens, it becomes comforting to imagine how a cat experiences the world. A world full of air patterns, vibrations, and invisible signals. And next, we will explore another part of that invisible world. Because cats do not only measure space, they measure identity. They recognize people and places through scent in ways humans can hardly imagine. And the key to that ability begins with something small and personal: a cat's nose.
A cat's nose may seem like a small detail, but it holds an entire world of information. To humans, a nose is mostly a tool for breathing and occasional smelling. But for a cat, the nose is a guide, a memory system, and a way of understanding reality itself. It is one of the first senses a kitten relies on, and one of the strongest senses an adult cat uses to navigate daily life. If you look closely at a cat's nose, you will notice it has a unique pattern of tiny ridges and textures. Much like a human fingerprint, each cat's nose print is slightly different. It is a small signature of individuality, shaped by biology and chance. The surface is often slightly moist, and that moisture is not random. It helps trap scent particles from the air, making the cat's sense of smell even more effective. Cats have a strong olfactory system, and they depend on it in ways humans rarely consider. Smell helps them recognize familiar humans. It helps them identify food. It helps them detect danger. It even helps them understand emotional changes in their environment. A cat may know that something is different before you do, simply because the air carries a scent that feels unfamiliar. This is why cats often pause at doorways. A doorway is not just a physical boundary, it is a scent boundary. It separates one area of air from another, and cats like to read that difference. They may sniff the floor, the doorframe, or the air itself, gathering information the way humans gather visual clues. A cat's smell is also deeply connected to comfort. Familiar scents reduce stress. A home smells like safety. A favorite blanket smells like rest. A human's clothing can become calming simply because it carries a known signature. This is why cats often sleep on laundry or curl up on a jacket. It is not only warmth, it is familiarity. And when a cat feels uncertain, scent becomes even more important. If a new person enters the home, the cat may sniff shoes or bags, not out of curiosity alone, but because the cat is gathering information. It is asking silent questions. Who is this? Where have they been? Are they safe? Cats also have a special scent detecting tool that makes their noses even more powerful. It is called the vomeronasal organ, and it helps cats interpret pheromones, the chemical messages left by other animals. When a cat encounters an interesting scent, it may perform the flamen response, that strange open mouth expression. In that moment, the cat is pulling scent molecules into this special organ, reading deeper meaning from the air. It is almost like the cat is tasting the scent rather than smelling it. This ability allows cats to detect social signals, territory markings, and even subtle biological changes. It is one reason cats seem so aware of the hidden world. They are constantly collecting invisible information. And in the quiet of night, this becomes even more fascinating. While humans rely on lamps and screens, cats rely on scent and sound. Their world is layered with signals that do not require light at all. Perhaps that is why cats can feel like creatures from another dimension. They are reading the environment in ways we cannot. But scent is only one part of their mystery. Next, we will return to the cat's body again, exploring a feature that makes their movement look effortless. Because inside a cat is a hunter's design refined through time, and it begins with their spine.
A cat's spine is one of the most important reasons its movement looks so smooth. When a cat stretches across the floor or arches its back in a slow, silent curve, it is not simply being flexible for comfort. It is revealing a structure built for survival. The spine is the central bridge between strength and grace, and in cats, that bridge is unusually powerful. Cats have more vertebrae in their backs than humans do, and the connections between those bones allow a wider range of motion. The muscles along the spine are also strong and responsive, giving the cat the ability to twist quickly, leap suddenly, and land with control. This is why a cat can pivot in an instant, changing direction mid-run without looking clumsy. The spine acts like a spring, storing energy and releasing it in bursts. When a cat prepares to pounce, the spine compresses slightly and the body lowers. It looks like the cat is becoming smaller, like it is sinking into the ground. Then, in one fast motion, the spine extends, adding power to the leap. The jump is not only leg strength, it is a full body launch. The cat's back and hips work together like a coiled mechanism, turning stored tension into movement. This design is perfect for ambush hunting. Cats are not endurance chasers. They do not run for miles like wolves. Instead, they rely on stillness, patience, and precision. They watch, they wait, they creep forward with tiny steps, and then, when the moment is right, they explode into action. Even in play, you can see this instinct. A toy moving across the floor becomes prey. The cat's shoulders rise and fall in that slow, stalking rhythm. The eyes narrow, the body becomes quiet. Then comes the sudden leap, the grab, and sometimes the bite. It may look cute, but it is practice. It is the nervous system rehearsing a hunting sequence that has existed for thousands of years. The spine is also connected to balance. Cats walk along narrow edges with confidence because their body can make constant small corrections. A slight shift in weight can be absorbed and adjusted through the spine, shoulders, and hips. Their movements remain smooth because their skeleton is designed to distribute motion evenly rather than in stiff segments. This flexibility also explains why cats can twist so well during a fall.
Their righting reflex depends on the ability to rotate the front and back halves of the body independently. A rigid spine would make that impossible, but a cat's spine is like a flexible chain, able to bend, rotate, and align quickly. There is something calming about understanding this. Cats are not mysterious because they are magical. They are mysterious because they are perfectly engineered by nature. Their grace is not decoration, it is a survival tool. And yet, despite all this predator design, cats often choose softness. They stretch on carpets, curl on blankets, and sleep in warm corners. A hunter's body becomes a symbol of comfort. Perhaps that is why watching a sleeping cat feels peaceful. You are seeing a creature built for danger, choosing rest instead. But the spine is only part of their hunting identity, because hidden inside their paws is a secret weapon, a weapon they can hide completely until the exact moment it is needed.
A cat's paws look soft, almost harmless, like small cushions designed only for quiet walking. But inside those paws is one of the most impressive tools in the animal world. Cats have retractable claws, curved and sharp, hidden away until the moment they are needed. It is like carrying a set of blades that disappear completely, leaving no trace until action begins. When a cat is relaxed, the claws are usually pulled back into the paw. This protects them from wearing down as the cat walks. It also keeps the cat's steps quiet, preventing the clicking sound that would give away its position in the wild. The claws stay sharp because they are used only when necessary, during climbing, hunting, or defense. When the moment arrives, the claws extend instantly. The movement is fast and controlled, driven by tendons and muscles in the paw. A cat does not need to think about it. The claws appear as part of instinct. This is why cats can grab toys mid-air, climb curtains with surprising speed, or cling to a surface that seems impossible. The claws are also curved in a way that helps them hook into prey or tree bark. In the wild, this curve matters. It allows a cat to hold on to struggling animals, and it helps with climbing, giving the cat access to higher ground where safety may be greater. Even domestic cats, living indoors, still carry this climbing instinct. They often seek elevated spaces because height provides a sense of control and security. Claws are not only weapons, they are tools for communication. Cats scratch surfaces not only to sharpen claws, but also to mark territory. The paw pads contain scent glands, and scratching leaves both visible marks and invisible scent signals. It is a way of saying, "This space belongs to me." In multi-cat homes, scratching becomes part of social balance, helping cats establish boundaries without constant conflict. Scratching also stretches the muscles of the shoulders and back. It is exercise, maintenance, and marking all at once. This is why scratching is such a deeply rooted behavior. It is not misbehavior, it is biology. And yet, claws can also reveal emotion. When a cat is stressed or frightened, claws may appear quickly. When a cat is playful, claws may extend gently during a game. When a cat is affectionate, it may knead a blanket with its paws, pushing in and out as if pressing soft dough. This kneading behavior is linked to kittenhood, when kittens knead their mother's belly to stimulate milk flow. Many adult cats continue kneading when they feel safe, as if returning to an early memory of comfort. Even the way cats walk is connected to their paws. The paw pads are sensitive and help detect vibrations. A cat can feel subtle movement through the floor, sensing footsteps or small animals nearby. This is another reason cats seem to notice things before humans do. Their body is tuned to signals we rarely register. So when a cat silently enters a room, it is not simply walking, it is reading the ground, listening through its paws, and staying ready to act.
And next, we will explore another strange truth about cats, because despite their predator design, cats can also be deeply gentle. And one of the clearest signs of that gentleness is found in the way they sleep, because cats do not sleep like humans do. They sleep like hunters. A sleeping cat may look like the definition of peace, curled into a warm circle, paws tucked close, eyes closed as if nothing in the world could possibly disturb them. But the truth is that a cat's sleep is not only rest, it is strategy. Cats sleep like hunters, shaped by instincts that evolved long before couches and blankets existed. Cats sleep a lot. Many adult cats can sleep anywhere from 12 to 16 hours a day, and some may sleep even more. This may seem lazy, but it is not. In the wild, hunting requires intense bursts of energy. A cat does not chase prey for long distances. Instead, it stalks, waits, and then explodes into movement. That sudden action burns energy quickly, and sleeping helps conserve it. Even when domestic cats no longer need to hunt for survival, the body still follows the same ancient rhythm. Their biology is designed to rest deeply so they can react quickly when the moment demands it. But cats do not sleep the way humans do. They often drift between light sleep and deeper sleep, staying partly aware of their surroundings. You may notice a cat sleeping with its ears twitching, or you may see the tail flick once as if the cat is responding to a sound. Even with eyes closed, the cat is still listening. The nervous system is never fully off. This is why cats can wake up instantly. A human may need a few seconds to understand where they are. A cat can be asleep and then suddenly alert, sitting upright, eyes open, body ready. That quick shift is not drama, it is survival wiring. Cats also have sleep positions that reveal how safe they feel. When a cat sleeps curled tightly, it is protecting its belly, the most vulnerable part of the body. This posture is common when a cat is resting lightly or when the environment feels uncertain. But when a cat sleeps stretched out, belly exposed, paws loose, it is showing deep trust. It is saying without words that it believes the world around it is safe. Some cats even sleep with their face pressed into a blanket as if trying to disappear into softness. Others sleep high up on shelves or furniture, choosing a place where they can observe the room. Height makes them feel secure, and it also connects to the wild instinct of staying above danger. Dreaming is also part of cat sleep. During certain stages, cats may twitch their whiskers, move their paws, or make tiny noises. This suggests they may experience dream-like brain activity similar to humans. A cat may be replaying hunting sequences, running through imagined fields, or practicing movements in the quiet theater of the mind. We cannot know exactly what they see, but their sleeping bodies hint at hidden stories. And there is something soothing about that. A cat's dreams remind us that even in stillness, life continues beneath the surface. The body rests, but the mind wanders. Cats also use sleep as a social bond. A cat that sleeps near you is not simply choosing warmth, it is choosing closeness. In the wild, sleeping near another creature is risky unless trust exists. When your cat settles beside you, it is sharing its most vulnerable state. That is why a sleeping cat can feel like comfort itself. It is a predator allowing itself to be peaceful. And next, we will explore another quiet mystery of cats. Because even though they sleep often, they remain incredibly aware. And one of their most fascinating awareness tools is their tail. Not just a decoration, but a language, a moving signal of emotion, balance, and intention.
A cat's tail may look like a simple extension of the body, but it is one of the most expressive tools a cat has. It is balance, communication, and emotion, all wrapped into one quiet, moving shape.
If you watch a cat carefully, you will notice that the tail is almost always speaking, even when the cat makes no sound at all. Cats use their tails to maintain stability. When a cat walks along a narrow surface, the tail acts like a counterweight, helping the body stay centered. A slight shift of the tail can correct balance instantly. This is why cats can move across fence tops, window ledges, or the back of a sofa with such confidence. Their bodies are constantly adjusting, and the tail is part of that fine control. But the tail is not only for balance, it is also a signal system. When a cat holds its tail straight up while walking toward you, it is often a friendly greeting. This posture usually means the cat feels comfortable and safe. It is a sign of trust, and it is one of the clearest ways a cat says, "I am peaceful." Some cats even curl the tip slightly, adding a playful softness to the gesture. When the tail is low, tucked, or held close to the body, it can signal fear or uncertainty. The cat is making itself smaller, protecting its emotions the way it protects its belly when curled up. A tucked tail is often seen in cats that feel threatened or overwhelmed. A puffed tail, on the other hand, is a sign of high arousal. When a cat suddenly fluffs up its tail, it is trying to appear larger. This happens during fear, surprise, or defensive moments. The fur rises because of a nervous system reaction, similar to goosebumps in humans. It is the body preparing for danger. Then there's the tail flick. Many people misunderstand this one. A dog wagging its tail often means happiness. A cat flicking its tail can mean irritation, overstimulation, or intense focus. When the tail swishes back and forth slowly, the cat may be thinking, calculating, or watching something closely. When the tail flicks sharply, the cat may be signaling, "I'm reaching my limit." This is why a cat may tolerate petting for a while, then begin flicking its tail before walking away. It is not sudden moodiness, it is communication. Cats also use their tails with other cats. A gentle tail wrap around another cat can be a sign of closeness. Some cats touch tails like a greeting. Others hold tails high when feeling confident, sending a signal of status and comfort. Even kittens learn tail language early. They practice by chasing their own tails, pouncing, spinning, and exploring movement. It may look silly, but it is training. The kitten is learning how its body works and how to control emotion through motion. The tail is also connected to the spine, meaning it is part of the cat's overall flexibility. It supports the body during jumps and quick turns. It is a stabilizer, a steering tool, and an emotional flag all at once. And perhaps that is what makes cats so fascinating. They do not always speak with sound. They speak with posture, with whiskers, with ears, with the slow movement of a tail. The more you watch them, the more you realize cats are constantly communicating, quietly, gracefully, without forcing attention. And next, we will explore another strange and calming truth. Because inside a cat's body is a hidden clock, a daily rhythm shaped by evolution. A rhythm that explains why cats often become most active at the exact moment humans are trying to sleep. If you have ever been drifting off to sleep and suddenly heard a cat racing through the house, you are not alone. Many cat owners know the strange nighttime energy cats sometimes release, as if a calm animal has suddenly turned into a silent storm. The running, the jumping, the sudden bursts of play. It can feel random, but it is not. It is connected to an ancient rhythm built into the cat's biology. Cats are crepuscular, which means they are naturally most active during dawn and dusk. This is the time when many small prey animals begin moving. In the wild, hunting during these hours gives a cat an advantage. The light is low enough to provide cover, but not so dark that movement becomes impossible to track. It is the perfect hunting window. Even though domestic cats no longer need to hunt for survival, their bodies still carry that schedule. Their internal clock still expects activity during twilight hours. This is why many cats wake up early, become energetic in the evening, and sometimes roam through the home at night. Those sudden bursts of energy are sometimes called the zoomies. In scientific terms, it can be explained as a release of stored energy and instinct. A cat may sleep for hours, conserving power, then suddenly feel the urge to move. In nature, this stored energy would be used for hunting. Indoors, it becomes play. Play itself is not meaningless. Play is training. When a cat chases a toy, it is rehearsing stalking and pouncing. When it leaps onto furniture, it is practicing climbing and balance. When it swats at something moving, it is refining reflexes. Even a well-fed cat still has a predator brain that needs practice. This is why cats often play most intensely at night. Their instincts are strongest when the world is quiet. A silent house feels closer to the wild. Shadows feel deeper. Sounds travel farther. The cat becomes more alert, more aware, more engaged. This crepuscular rhythm can also explain why cats sometimes wake their humans. A cat may walk across the bed at 4 a.m., meow softly, or scratch at a door. From the human perspective, it feels like interruption. From the cat's perspective, it is simply the correct time to be awake. Cats also use nighttime to patrol territory. In the wild, a cat must constantly check its environment. Indoors, the same instinct remains. A cat may walk through familiar rooms, sniffing corners, listening near windows, checking doorways. It is making sure everything is stable. And there is something strangely comforting in that. While you sleep, the cat is still monitoring the space, still listening to the night, still existing as a quiet guardian of the home. Some cats even develop routines that match their human schedules. Over time, they learn when humans wake up, when food is served, and when the lights go out. They adapt, but the ancient rhythm never fully disappears. The hunter inside them still recognizes dawn and dusk as important. Understanding this can make a cat's nighttime behavior feel less annoying and more natural. It is not rebellion, it is biology. It is the echo of a wild timeline inside a domestic life. And next, we will explore another fascinating feature connected to that hunting identity. Because cats are not just active at the right time, they are built to detect movement with incredible precision. And the secret lies in their eyes again, not in how they see light, but in how they see motion.
A cat can notice movement that a human might completely miss. A tiny twitch in the corner of a room, a small insect crawling across the floor, the faint shift of a curtain in a breeze. While humans often focus on faces and objects, cats are designed to focus on motion. In many ways, a cat's eyes are built not just for seeing the world, but for tracking the smallest changes inside it. This ability comes from the structure of the retina. Cats have a large number of rod cells, which are especially sensitive to light and movement. Rod cells are excellent for detecting motion in dim environments. Humans have them too, but cats rely on them more strongly. This is one reason cats are so skilled at hunting in low light. Even a tiny movement can become obvious to them. Cats also have a wider field of vision than humans. Their eyes are positioned forward, giving them strong depth perception for judging distance. This helps with pouncing. A cat must calculate how far away prey is before leaping, because the leap must be accurate. A small miscalculation could mean missing a meal. Over time, cats became extremely precise at judging distance and timing.
Their pupils also contribute to motion detection. In dim light, the pupils expand, allowing more light to enter. In bright light, the pupils narrow into vertical slits, which reduces glare and improves focus. The vertical slit shape is especially useful for predators that hunt close to the ground because it helps measure distance more effectively. It allows the cat to focus sharply on small targets near the floor. There is also something else happening behind the scenes. Cats have fast visual processing. Their brains can interpret movement quickly, which helps them react instantly. This is why a cat can catch a flying insect mid-air or swat a toy with perfect timing. Their reflexes are linked directly to the way they see. This motion sensitivity is not only for hunting, it is also for safety. In the wild, detecting motion early can mean avoiding danger. A predator approaching through grass, a bird suddenly taking flight, a snake shifting in the shadows. Movement often matters more than shape. Even indoors, this instinct remains. A cat may stare at a wall for several minutes, completely focused, as if watching something invisible. Sometimes there really is something there, like a small bug or a faint shadow. Other times, the cat may be responding to tiny vibrations, distant sounds, or even subtle changes in airflow. To humans, it looks like mystery. To the cat, it is information. This is why cats often enjoy watching windows. Outside the glass is a moving world. Birds, leaves, passing cars, insects, shifting light. For a cat, it is entertainment and mental stimulation. The window becomes a living screen filled with natural signals. It is also why cats can become overstimulated by sudden fast motion. A loud, quick movement can trigger a hunting response or a defensive reaction. Cats are tuned to react quickly because hesitation can be costly. And yet, despite this intense awareness, cats often choose stillness. They can sit quietly for long periods, watching, waiting, letting their eyes do the work. Their patience is part of their power. They do not waste energy, they observe. This calm focus is one of the reasons cats feel soothing to be around. They remind us of quiet attention. They show us how to exist without constant noise. And next, we will explore another quiet marvel. Because cats are not only built to see movement, they are built to feel it. Through their paws, their whiskers, and even the tiny vibrations of the ground. And that sensitivity connects to something surprising, their ability to sense changes in the environment before humans do.
There are moments when a cat seems to know something before anyone else does. A cat may suddenly leave a room for no obvious reason. It may stare toward a hallway long before a visitor arrives. It may become restless before a storm, or unusually clingy when a human is feeling unwell. To people, these behaviors can feel mysterious, even supernatural, but much of this sixth sense can be explained by biology. Cats are highly sensitive animals. Their hearing detects sounds far beyond human range. Their whiskers detect tiny changes in air movement. Their paws can feel vibrations through the floor. Their nose reads chemical changes in the environment like invisible headlines. When all of these senses work together, a cat becomes a living sensor system, constantly scanning the world. This is why cats often react to things humans cannot perceive. A cat may hear a distant car door close outside. It may hear footsteps approaching from far away. It may detect the subtle shift in air pressure before a storm arrives. Some animals, including cats, can sense these atmospheric changes more strongly than humans. A thunderstorm that feels like a surprise to you may feel like an obvious warning to a cat. Cats may also respond to vibrations. Their paw pads are sensitive and their bodies are tuned to ground movement. A cat may notice subtle tremors caused by a heavy truck passing down the street or the faint vibrations of construction work far away. To humans, the environment seems still. To cats, it is constantly moving. Scent plays an even bigger role. Humans often underestimate how much information scent carries. Cats can detect emotional changes through smell. Stress sweat, hormonal shifts, and chemical changes in the body can create subtle scent differences. This is why some cats seem to behave differently around certain people or during certain moods. They may be responding to scent cues that the human is not aware of. This sensitivity can also explain why cats sometimes seem to predict routines. A cat may appear near the door minutes before you normally come home. It may wake up just before your alarm. This may not be psychic ability, it may be pattern recognition. Cats observe daily life closely. They learn schedules, sounds, and tiny habits. The sound of a neighbor's car, the timing of street noise, the shift in light through a window. All of these cues can act like clocks. Cats are also masters of reading body language. They watch humans constantly. They notice when a person moves differently, breathes differently, or behaves differently. If you are sick, your movements may slow, your voice may change, your scent may change. A cat can notice all of it. Some people believe cats can sense earthquakes before they happen. While this is not fully proven, it is possible that animals detect subtle vibrations that occur before major seismic movement. A cat's nervous system is tuned for survival, and noticing danger early is part of that design. But even in everyday life, this sensitivity is what makes cats feel like quiet guardians. They sit still, but they are not absent. They are always receiving information, always listening, always sensing. And perhaps that is why being near a cat can feel calming. A cat does not rush, it waits, it observes, it responds only when necessary. It moves like a creature that trusts its senses completely. As the night continues, you may begin to feel the world soften. The room grows quieter, the mind grows slower, and somewhere nearby, a cat may be listening to sounds you will never hear. Next, we will explore another strange and gentle feature of cats, because even their bodies have hidden patterns of individuality, not just in fur color, not just in personality, but in something as small as the nose itself. Because a cat's nose is not only a sensor, it is also a signature. Every cat carries tiny details that make it completely unique. Humans often recognize cats by fur color, by eye shape, or by personality. But there is another detail that is far more subtle, almost invisible unless you look closely. A cat's nose has its own pattern, made of small ridges and textures, and no two are exactly the same. Much like a human fingerprint, a cat's nose print is a signature written in biology. The surface of a cat's nose is usually slightly moist. This moisture is not just random. It helps trap scent particles from the air, making the sense of smell more effective. A dry nose can happen sometimes, especially after sleep or in warm environments, but the general design of the nose supports the cat's ability to read the world through scent. Cats use smell as one of their strongest sources of information. When a cat approaches something new, it rarely looks first, it sniffs first. The nose gathers details about food, territory, other animals, and unfamiliar objects. A cat can smell what happened in a room long before you entered. It can smell who walked there, what they touched, and whether something has changed. This is why cats often pause at doorways. A doorway is not just an opening, it is a scent border. The air on one side may hold different information than the air on the other. A cat might stand still, sniffing carefully, as if reading the room before entering. To the cat, it is not hesitation, it is intelligence. Cats can also recognize their humans through scent. Even if you change clothes or return home in the dark, your smell carries your identity. Your cat does not need a bright light to know you. It can recognize you through invisible signals in the air. This is also why cats sometimes react strangely to new scents. If you return home after visiting another animal, your cat may sniff you intensely, sometimes even acting offended. The cat is not being dramatic, it is processing new information. It is noticing a foreign scent signature and deciding what it means. The nose also plays a role in comfort. Familiar smells reduce anxiety. Cats rub their faces on furniture and on humans to spread pheromones, creating an environment that feels safe. Their home becomes a scent map of belonging. When something disrupts that map, such as a moved couch or a new cleaning product, a cat may feel unsettled until it has remarked the area. And then there is the strange open mouth expression cats sometimes make after sniffing. This is the phlegm response, and it happens when a cat is drawing scent molecules into the vomeronasal organ. This organ is designed to detect pheromones and social signals more deeply. It is like switching from normal smelling to advanced decoding. In that moment, the cat is not just smelling the world, it is analyzing it. It is gathering information about identity, territory, and emotion. When you think about it, a cat's life is full of invisible messages. Every room contains scent layers. Every object carries history. Every human carries a signature. Cats move through this unseen world as naturally as humans move through light. And perhaps that is why they feel so mysterious. They are always aware of something beyond our senses. They are reading the air like a book. As the night continues, you may feel yourself slowing down, drifting deeper into calm. And next, we will explore a part of cats that is even more surprising, because hidden inside their mouths is another strange tool. Not the teeth, not the tongue, but a set of senses designed to pull secrets from scent itself. And it changes the way cats understand their world completely.
There is a moment many cat owners have seen and laughed at. A cat sniffs something new, then suddenly freezes with its mouth slightly open, lips curled, eyes half-focused, as if it is making a strange, silent face. It can look like confusion, it can look like disgust, but the truth is much more fascinating. The cat is not reacting emotionally, the cat is analyzing. This behavior is called the phlegm response. It happens when a cat is pulling chemical information into a special sensory system known as the vomeronasal organ, sometimes called Jacobson's organ. This organ sits in the roof of the mouth and connects directly to the brain. It is designed to detect pheromones, the invisible chemical messages left behind by other animals. When a cat performs the phlegm response, it is not simply smelling, it is decoding. The cat is drawing scent particles into this organ to gather deeper social information. In a way, it is like switching from ordinary vision to night vision. The cat is accessing a hidden layer of meaning. This ability is extremely useful in the wild. Pheromones can reveal whether another animal is nearby, whether a territory has been marked, whether a rival is present, or whether a potential mate has passed through. The air becomes full of invisible signals. The cat does not need to see another animal to know it was there. It can smell the story. Even in domestic life, this ancient system still operates.
A cat may perform the phlegm response after sniffing a shoe, a visitor's clothing, or a new object brought into the home. The cat is not being silly. It is reading information about where that object has been. It is gathering clues about identity and safety. This also explains why cats are often so interested in scents humans find unimportant. A plastic bag, a cardboard box, a blanket, or a package delivered to the door. Humans may see these things as boring, but to a cat, they carry the fingerprints of the outside world. Each object brings new chemical signals, and the cat's brain is designed to investigate. Cats are also sensitive to scent changes in humans. If you return home after being around another animal, your cat may sniff you intensely. It may even perform the phlegm response. The cat is gathering information. It is asking silent questions. Who did you touch? Where have you been? Is this scent a threat? This sensory system is part of what makes cats feel almost psychic. They detect things humans cannot. They sense visitors before the door opens. They sense tension in a home before anyone speaks. They notice changes in routine because the scent environment changes along with it. But this is not magic, it is biology. Cats live in a world of invisible layers. Their reality is built not only on sight and sound, but on chemical messages written into the air. A cat does not simply exist in a room, it reads the room, it interprets it, it gathers data from it. And perhaps that is why cats seem so calm. When you understand the environment deeply, you do not need to panic, you simply observe. In the quiet hours of night, this becomes soothing to imagine. A cat sitting still is not doing nothing, it is sensing everything. And next, we will explore another remarkable part of their biology, because cats are not only built to read the world, they are built to survive it. Even when they are injured, even when they are weak. And the secret may return again to something we began with earlier, that gentle vibration, the purr.
The purr returns again, like a familiar rhythm in the background of the night. Earlier, we explored how cats purr in comfort, in safety, and in closeness. But there is another side to purring that feels even more mysterious. Cats sometimes purr when they are frightened. They sometimes purr when they are hurt. They sometimes purr when they are alone. This seems strange at first, because humans often connect purring only with happiness. But in nature, behavior is not always about emotion. Sometimes it is about survival. When a cat is injured, staying calm can increase the chance of recovery. Stress wastes energy. Stress weakens the body. A cat that can regulate its nervous system during pain may have a better chance of living. This is why some researchers believe purring may serve as a biological tool, not just a social sound. The frequency of a cat's purr often falls between 25 and 150 hertz. This range is interesting because similar vibrations have been used in physical therapy for humans. Certain low-frequency vibrations can support bone strength, muscle repair, and tissue recovery. This does not mean cats are intentionally healing themselves, but it does suggest that evolution may have favored a vibration that provides physical advantages. In the wild, a cat that heals faster can hunt again sooner. It can escape danger more easily. It can protect its territory. Even a small improvement in recovery time could matter greatly over generations. A purr that helps reduce stress and supports the body might become a survival advantage. Cats also purr during childbirth. This may help the mother remain calm and focused during pain. It may also comfort the kittens, who are born blind and vulnerable. A mother cat's purr creates a steady sound environment, guiding kittens toward warmth and safety. The purr becomes a signal that says, "Stay close, you are protected." Some people describe a cat's purr as a living vibration that fills the room. It can feel like the sound is not only in the cat, but in the air itself.
This is part of why purring feels so soothing to humans. The rhythm is steady. The sound is low. It does not demand attention. It simply exists, like a quiet engine of peace. There is also evidence that cats may use purring to influence humans. A hungry cat may purr while rubbing against your legs, blending affection with request. Some researchers have noticed that cats can produce a special type of purr that includes a higher frequency cry hidden inside it. Humans may not consciously recognize it, but the brain responds. It triggers attention. It encourages caretaking. It is a subtle form of communication shaped by living alongside people. This makes purring not only a healing tool, but a social tool. It strengthens bonds, it creates closeness, it invites connection. And perhaps that is the most calming truth of all. Cats carry a built-in sound that comforts them, comforts their kittens, and comforts the humans around them. It is a sound that turns stress into softness. As you listen tonight, you may feel your own breathing slow, your mind drifting downward, pulled gently by that rhythm. And next, we will explore another hidden part of cat biology that shapes their behavior every day. Because cats are not only hunters and healers, they are also creatures of memory. And the way they remember places, routines, and people is far deeper than most humans realize.
A cat may seem forgetful at times, as if it lives only in the present moment. It might ignore a toy you bought yesterday, or act as if it has never seen a visitor before. But cats have strong memory systems, and much of their behavior is shaped by what they remember. Their memory is not always emotional in the human sense, but it is deeply practical. It is designed to protect them, guide them, and help them survive. Cats rely heavily on associative memory. This means they remember connections between events. If a certain sound is followed by food, they learn it quickly. If a certain person brings stress, they remember that too. If a carrier appears and the next experience is a trip to the vet, the cat begins to recognize the pattern. This is why many cats hide the moment they see the carrier. They are not being dramatic, they are remembering. Cats also remember spaces. They build mental maps of their territory, whether that territory is a forest or a small apartment. They know where the safest hiding spots are. They know which windows show birds. They know where sunlight falls in the afternoon. They know which hallway leads to quiet and which leads to noise. Even in the dark, a cat can move through familiar rooms with confidence because the environment has been stored in memory. This spatial memory is one reason cats can appear so independent. They do not need constant guidance. They know where things are. They know how to get there. They know how to escape if they need to. Their mind is always building a map. Cats also remember routines. They notice the timing of daily life. They learn when humans wake up, when food is served, and when lights go off. Over time, the cat's internal clock blends with the household rhythm. This is why a cat may sit by the food bowl minutes before you normally feed it. It is not always hunger, it is expectation. It is memory mixed with timing. Cats can also remember individuals. They recognize humans through scent, voice, and movement. A cat may not greet every person the same way because it has stored emotional history. A human who is gentle becomes familiar. A human who once frightened the cat may remain suspicious in the cat's mind for a long time. This memory can last longer than many people realize. Some cats remember certain experiences for months or even years. A frightening event can leave a strong imprint, especially if it happened during kittenhood. But positive experiences can leave strong imprints too. A cat may remember a safe lap,
a warm blanket, a quiet voice. Cats also use memory in hunting behavior. Even indoor cats remember where toys are stored. They remember where insects often appear. They remember which corners hide interesting movement. Their instincts are supported by learned experience. There is something calming about this. A cat is not simply reacting to the world, it is learning it. It is collecting patterns. It is building familiarity. And familiarity is one of the strongest forms of comfort. This is why cats can be slow to accept change. When a home changes, the cat's map is disrupted. The familiar scent pathways shift, the routine shifts, the safe memory shifts, and the cat must rebuild stability. But once a cat feels safe again, it returns to its calm nature, because memory allows it to trust the environment. And next, we will explore one of the most misunderstood truths about cats. Because even though they seem independent, cats can feel deep attachment. Not in the loud way humans do, but in a quiet, loyal way. A way that often reveals itself in the simplest behavior, the way a cat chooses to stay near you.
Cats are often described as distant or unemotional, as if they only tolerate humans for food and warmth. But this is one of the most misunderstood ideas about them. Cats can form strong attachments. They may not show loyalty in the dramatic way dogs do, but their connection is real, and it is expressed through quiet behaviors that many people overlook. One of the clearest signs of attachment is proximity. A cat that chooses to stay near you is not doing it by accident. In the wild, staying close to another creature is risky. It means sharing space, sharing scent, and lowering guard. A cat will only do this when it feels safe. So when your cat follows you from room to room, sits nearby while you work, or sleeps at the foot of your bed, it is expressing trust. Cats also show attachment through routine. They may wait for you at the door. They may appear when you normally wake up. They may sit in the same spot every evening, expecting your presence. This is not random behavior. It is social habit. The cat is building a shared rhythm with you, a quiet relationship written into daily life. Some cats show affection through gentle head bumps and cheek rubs. As we explored earlier, this is partly scent marking, but it is also bonding. The cat is mixing its scent with yours, making you part of its safe world. It is a behavior that combines biology with emotion. Cats also communicate trust by showing vulnerability. A cat that rolls onto its back and exposes its belly is not always asking to be touched, but it is showing that it feels secure. The belly is the most vulnerable area of the body. Exposing it is a form of confidence. Slow blinking is another powerful sign. A cat that slowly closes its eyes in your presence is offering peace. It is saying, "I am calm with you." Returning the slow blink can strengthen that bond. It becomes a quiet exchange, like a quiet handshake of trust. Some cats show attachment through vocalization. They may greet you with a soft meow or make a specific sound only for you. Cats can develop unique vocal patterns that are directed toward their favorite humans. It is not simply noise, it is communication shaped by relationship. There's also the behavior of bringing gifts. Some cats bring toys. Some, especially outdoor cats, may bring prey. While this can be unpleasant for humans, it may be the cat's way of sharing hunting success. In the cat's mind, it may be an act of inclusion, a sign that you are part of its social circle. Cats can also experience separation stress. Some cats become restless when their humans leave. They may pace, meow, or become unusually clingy when the person returns. This shows that cats do not simply exist alone.
They remember, they miss, and they respond. Of course, cats express attachment differently depending on personality. Some are affectionate and social, others are quiet and independent. But even the most reserved cat may show love in small ways, sitting in the same room, watching you from a distance, or choosing to rest near your scent. And perhaps that is what makes cats so calming. Their love is not loud, it is not demanding, it is a quiet presence that says, "I am here." As the night continues, this quiet loyalty becomes comforting. A cat does not need many words, it simply stays. And next, we will explore one final layer of cat mystery. Because even after thousands of years beside humans, cats still carry the wild inside them. And that wildness lives in their hunting instincts, hidden beneath the softness of everyday life.
Even the most pampered indoor cat carries a hunter's design beneath its soft fur. A cat may sleep on pillows, eat from a bowl, and live surrounded by comfort, but the body and brain inside that comfort are still shaped by wilderness. The domestic cat has not changed as dramatically as many other domesticated animals. In many ways, it remains a small wild predator living quietly inside a human home. A cat's hunting instinct is not learned, it is built in. Kittens show stalking behavior early, even before they fully understand the world. They crouch low, wiggle their bodies, and pounce on moving objects. It looks playful, but it is practice. Their nervous system is rehearsing survival patterns that once meant the difference between life and death. Cats are ambush predators. They are designed for short bursts of speed, not long chases. In the wild, a cat will often watch prey carefully, moving slowly, stepping lightly, and waiting for the perfect moment. Then comes the sudden rush, a fast leap, a grab, and a bite. The entire sequence is quick and efficient because energy is precious. Even play follows this same pattern. When a cat chases a toy, you can often see the hunting sequence unfold. The eyes lock in, the body lowers, the tail flicks. The cat pauses, then strikes. This is not random excitement, it is instinct wearing the mask of fun. Cats are also built to hunt silently. Their paw pads cushion footsteps. Their claws stay hidden until needed. Their shoulders move smoothly, and their spine allows fluid stalking. This stealth is part of why cats feel almost ghost-like at night. They can cross a room without waking anyone, moving with the quiet confidence of an animal that evolved to survive unseen. Cats also have powerful jaws for their size. Their teeth are designed to grip and pierce, not to grind. Their bite is meant to deliver a quick finishing hold. Even the tongue, with its rough papillae, supports a meat-based lifestyle. Every part of the cat's mouth reflects its history as a carnivore. This is why cats can become so fascinated by small movement, a flickering shadow, a bug on the wall, a feather toy. Their brain treats motion as a signal. Something moving might be food. Something moving might be a threat. Their attention is instantly captured. Cats are also natural hunters of routine. They often patrol the same paths, checking the same corners, watching the same windows. In the wild, this behavior helps maintain territory. Indoors, it becomes a quiet habit. The cat is not bored, it is monitoring its world. And yet, what is most fascinating is how cats balance this wildness with affection. A cat may hunt a toy fiercely, then minutes later curl beside you in complete calm. It can switch from predator to companion effortlessly. That ability to move between worlds is part of their charm. Perhaps that is why cats feel so mysterious. They are not fully domestic in spirit. They are not fully wild either. They live in the space between.
As you listen tonight, you may feel that dual nature in their presence, a creature built for hunting, choosing to rest near humans. And next, we will reach the gentle closing of our journey. Because after exploring their senses, their instincts, and their ancient history, one truth remains. Cats are not just animals living beside us. They are small, quiet universes. And the more we understand them, the more they become peaceful. As we come closer to the end of this gentle journey, it becomes clear that cats are far more than simple pets. They are not just soft bodies curled on couches. They are not just playful creatures chasing light across the floor. Cats are living systems of biology, instinct, and history, shaped by nature and quietly adapted to human life. A cat's senses alone are enough to make it extraordinary. Their hearing reaches into frequencies humans cannot touch. Their whiskers read the air like delicate instruments. Their eyes gather light from the twilight and turn darkness into a readable world. Their nose detects invisible layers of meaning, telling stories written in scent. Even their paws feel vibrations that pass unnoticed through human feet. And behind those senses is a mind built for survival. Cats are cautious for a reason. They observe before they approach. They pause before they enter a new room. They watch before they trust. That careful nature is not coldness, it is intelligence. It is an animal designed to survive by noticing what others ignore. Yet, for all their independence, cats have also learned to live beside humans in a strangely intimate way. They have learned our routines, they have learned our voices, they have learned how to communicate in a human-centered language, using meows and gentle sounds they rarely use with other cats. They have learned how to ask for food, how to request attention, and how to quietly become part of a household without ever losing their dignity. Cats do not usually demand love the way some animals do. They offer it. They choose when to sit near you. They choose when to curl beside your legs. They choose when to slow blink at you, showing peace through vulnerability. This is why their affection feels powerful. It is not forced, it is given. Even the purr carries meaning deeper than comfort. It is a vibration that can calm the cat itself, calm kittens, and calm humans. It may even support healing. It is one of nature's softest sounds, and yet it is filled with purpose. In a world full of harsh noise, the purr is steady, gentle, and quietly strong. And then there is the ancient history of cats, stretching back to the first grain stores, the first villages, the first quiet agreements between predator and human. Cats did not become our companions through obedience. They became our companions through coexistence. They arrived on their own terms, stayed because it benefited them, and remained because the bond slowly grew. Perhaps that is why cats still feel like they belong to two worlds. They are comfortable indoors, but they carry the wild inside their bones. Their hunting instincts remain. Their midnight patrols remain. Their sudden bursts of energy remain. Even when they sleep, they are never fully unaware. They rest like hunters, prepared to wake instantly if needed. Yet they also trust. They sleep on soft blankets. They stretch in sunlit windows. They knead pillows as if remembering kittenhood. They choose warmth. They choose safety. They choose the quiet life of home. There is something deeply soothing in that choice, a creature designed for survival, allowing itself to relax. So, tonight, as your breathing slows and the world grows softer, remember this. A cat is not only an animal you live with, it is a small universe of instincts and wonder living quietly beside you. And in that quiet presence,
there is comfort. In that silent grace, there is peace. And as you drift towards sleep, the cat's world continues softly around you, calm and watchful, like a gentle guardian of the night. And now, as the night settles even deeper, we can let this gentle exploration come to a peaceful close. There is nothing left to chase, nothing left to prove, and nothing you need to hold on to. Only quiet thoughts, soft breathing, and the calm presence of a world that continues to move slowly around you. Cats have always carried a special kind of stillness. They can sit for long periods without restlessness, watching the room as if time does not bother them. They remind us that silence is not empty. Silence can be full of awareness, full of comfort, full of small invisible details that matter. Perhaps that is why cats have stayed close to humans for so many thousands of years. Not because they were trained to, not because they were forced, but because they fit into the human world in a way that feels natural. They offer companionship without noise, warmth without pressure, presence without constant demand. A cat can be near you without interrupting you. It can share your space without trying to control it. And in a busy world, that kind of quiet companionship is rare. We've traveled through their senses, their instincts, and their ancient history. We've seen how their eyes are designed for twilight, how their whiskers measure the air, how their ears detect hidden sound, and how their noses read stories written in scent. We've explored their silent steps, their flexible spine, their hidden claws, and the powerful purr that can calm both body and mind. And through it all, one truth becomes clearer. Cats are not simple creatures. They are precise creatures. They are built with careful engineering, shaped by nature's long patience. They are hunters who have learned to live in homes. They are wild animals who have learned comfort. They are independent minds that still choose connection. And that choice is what makes them so special. When a cat curls beside you, it is not because it must, it is because it wants to. When it slow blinks, it is offering peace. When it purrs, it is creating a rhythm that can soften stress and quiet the mind. When it sleeps nearby, it is sharing trust in its most vulnerable state. Cats show love in a language that is quiet and subtle. A gentle head rub, a warm body pressed against your legs, a silent follow from room to room, a soft meow that feels like it belongs only to you. These are small things, but they carry meaning. And maybe that is why cats can feel like guardians of the night. They move through darkness with ease. They listen while we sleep. They sense what we cannot. They exist between worlds, both domestic and wild, both familiar and mysterious. So as you rest tonight, let that thought settle gently into your mind. Somewhere in the stillness, a cat may be watching the room, hearing distant sounds, feeling tiny vibrations, reading the air through scent, and living in a calm awareness that humans rarely reach. And maybe, in their quiet way, cats remind us of something important, that peace is not the absence of life. Peace is the presence of calm. Now let your breathing slow even more. Let your shoulders relax. Let your thoughts drift like soft clouds. And if sleep arrives, allow it to come gently. Because the night is quiet, the world is safe, and everything can rest.